Okay, our next guest on the Irish NFL show, we've been so fortunate to have a number of different players on in the off season, and this week is no different. We're joined by Carolina Panthers tight end Colin Thompson. Colin, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Excited to be here.
It's good to have you on, Colin, and it's great. I watched you a few weeks ago on Jeff Reinbold's show, so I'm sure it is going to be good fun. We ask everybody this, Colin. First off, Irish NFL show. Have you any Irish heritage yourself?
I do. So my mom's maiden name is Leahy, and my dad's side, Thompsons, actually have some heritage as well. So I got to figure out where we're from. We know a lot about the Italian side of the family and where they're from, and they're from like the southern part of Italy. But I want to visit, that's for sure, and that's a plan to play some golf and drink some beer and have a good time.
Well, you've three tour guides here, Colin, and happy to definitely drink the beer. I don't know how good any of us are at golf, but we'll happily go out and give it a shot. Now, look, you yourself, you've overcome kind of considerable adversity to play in the NFL. Can you talk to us, I suppose, a little bit about that kind of roller coaster ride and like what kept you motivated along the way?
I just think having clear goals along the way of exactly of what I wanted to do. And really that the end result or the results that were coming really had nothing to do with the end result. Whether I was getting cut or whether all the way back to the beginning of my real football career when I was transferring from high school into college and I broke my right foot. And then 6 months later, I broke it again. And then 6 months later, I broke my left foot. So then I was relieved of my scholarship at the University of Florida, and they said, "Hey, we'll pay for your school, but you shouldn't play football anymore. You should, you should stay healthy, and your career's over, and we want you to be able to run around and walk with your kids and all these things that I was not ready for as a 19, 20-year-old boy." But the goal was always consistent, and that was to play in the NFL. And there's adversity for sure. I played in minor leagues. I played when I was with the Giants. I had emergency appendectomy and got cut 48 hours later after I was told I'm going to be there and I wasn't going to get cut. So there's definitely adversity at all different corners, right? And then just balancing relationships and the struggle of being away from home or being away from your fiance. That we're getting married this summer. We've been long distance now for 7 years because of what I do. So it's a grind for sure. But I've been fortunate to be able to play this game and to be able to meet so many great people. It's taken me to places like this to meet you guys, and I'm forever grateful for that. So yeah, the adversity, the people say it reveals who you are, and I think that's fair because over time I've stayed true to who I am, and it's taken me to some great places.
Colin, I'm a Giants fan, so I have to go straight to my love and ask you about the Giants. So I see on your website you kind of touched on the fact that one of your greatest childhood memories was being at the Super Bowl parade, and it allowed you to, I suppose, have that dream of playing in the NFL and what you want to get from your career. But what was that experience like signing for the Giants? And as you touched on, obviously then it was ripped away from you with the injury, but just the positive part of signing for them and all that experience and what it entailed.
Yeah, so it's one of my favorite football memories, signing with the New York Football Giants. It's a first-class organization that I was extremely blessed to play for. They are truly the first class of the NFL. I've been lucky to play for some great first-class organizations in the Bears and in Carolina. But the first team you play for, you never forget them, and it was something really special to me. So, yeah, I had a couple workouts before the draft and was not a high touted prospect, and I had some injury history, and I didn't catch a lot of passes my senior year. I was more of a run blocking tight end, and it's a role I've taken throughout my career, and I love. But I went to the workout with the Giants, and I did really well. I didn't have a good workout for the Jets. I didn't think I did. And Eagles, I did okay. But with the Giants, I did my best, and I signed undrafted with the Giants. We had about 40 people at my house, obviously pre-pandemic days. And it was bedlam. You guys, you would have thought I was a number one overall pick. And just made 40 million, and I just signed a $4,500 signing bonus. That was all. So, it was a blessing and something I'll never forget. And I love my experience there. But it is truly an old school NFL, a lot of history. Bill Parcells, the Eli Manning. I got to play with Eli, and how cool that was. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time in New York. Met a lot of great people, and I have some fond memories for me.
Did you, sorry, Michael, did you get an opportunity to speak to John Mara at any stage after you signed?
I did not. I mean, I was able to meet him, yes, and they were very present as an ownership. We have present owners here too. The owners in Chicago were very present. I know a lot of organizations maybe not so much, which I think is really unique. They don't have to be, right? They don't have to be there. So, yeah, I did. They were first class. I'll tell this story, the podcast, so I get to tell long-winded stories and have fun. At one point I was doing so much radio, and I was just doing poor podcasts because there was like 3 2-minute hits, and they're on to the next question, and then we're going to break, and then I'm off. So we play the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the 2017 preseason. It's my first NFL game. I'm from about an hour and 30 minutes drive to East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the stadium is. So family's up for the game, right? Obviously, we probably had, I don't know, maybe 50 people there. It's my first NFL game. It's a preseason game. Play the game. I ended up playing like 10 snaps because the first and second team offense was sputtering out a lot. They wanted to get them more reps. So I was healthy, came out of the game shaking. I was so nervous. I played horribly. I didn't play that bad, but I just remember not being in the right frame of mind, just like praying for nothing to go wrong. All's good though. I walk out, no injuries, played my first game. Awesome. So go out to the parking lot, see my family, friends, and we got to see everyone, which was so cool. And got this really a celebration. I'm accumulation of all my family and friends and all the coaches I've had along the years. I truly believe that it is. There's no way I'm making it without all of the village that has helped me get to here where I am. So that was cool. Got to celebrate with them, and it was just a good time. And then we went into New York City with another couple that we're very good friends with, and I got to see my fiance for the first time. We spent the night in the city in a nice place, and we're going to get breakfast and then walk around the city a little bit, and then I was going to go back to the facility, right? Be back by 2, 3, get in the tubs, get recovered for the next practice day. Just a nice day off. So I wake up on that day off in excruciating pain. Excruciating. Like, I mean, I think I have a decent pain tolerance. I've had plenty of injuries over the years that I've played through or whatever it may be. And my stomach was just on fire. I mean, literally throbbing pain. Someone like Mike Tyson was just laying uppercuts into my stomach. So we were Ubering to the facility, and like the Uber stopping and going through the tunnel, and my stomach's killing me. And then we get to the facility, and I'm like, I'm in a ton of pain and whatever. Fast forward, I have to get the emergency appendectomy surgery. My appendix is about to burst. We go to the hospital. My fiance's with me, and this is the whole point of the story when you talk about the Maras, and I talk about first-class organization. So my fiance's there. When I wake up, the first person there is my tight ends coach, Kevin Gilbride, who was my tight end coach with the Giants, with the Bears, and now he's a coach on their staff in Carolina. So Kevin and I have been together a ton. Coached at Temple as well, where I finished my college career. And I wake up to them, and Kevin comes, says hi, and then I get a call from a couple of people from the Giants organization asking how I'm doing. And then it's time for my fiance to leave. And there was a team member there, right, who's taking sure I'm up to date, and they're taking care of me. And we're spoiled. We are absolutely spoiled. I'll admit it. But it's really nice. And, we're obviously work for the team, so they're taking care of us. And it's time to go. Sydney, my fiance, is ready to leave. And they're like, where are you going? She's like, I'm staying. Then when it's going to Uber back to the hotel, they said, no, you're not. There's a town car waiting outside for you. And I remember sitting there, and she's like, well, no, it's no big deal. I'll just get an Uber. I'm like, yeah, I'll just get her an Uber right to the city. It's 30 minutes away. It's no problem. They're like, no, we have a town car waiting for you with our security, our people that were blessed by the team to take her wherever you wanted to go. We don't care where you want to go. We're making sure you get where you want to go. So they took Sydney, the town car that Giants paid for, back into the city. and made sure that she got to her location safely. And that's first class to me. That didn't need to happen. And this is a tidbit there about what the Giants, I know you're a Giants fan, Brian. So I'm sure that makes you smile a little bit. They do truly a first class job.
I think you've lived Brian's dream there, Colin. Definitely, it's an amazing story there. Even just reading up on it again, just getting myself into it, like going from the Giants, then having the surgery, going to the Bears, then you end up in the Alliance of American Football, a league that I myself, and know these boys as well, really enjoyed in the NFL offseason. Talk to us about that there, because that must have been very challenging going from playing in the preseason or playing with an NFL franchise, going there and then trying to get back to that step again.
You know what's funny? Guess where I was when I got signed into the Alliance of American Football League. Anybody guess?
I don't want to say it. Colin guessed.
Hawaii.
I was at the Guinness factory.
Oh, okay. Okay, right.
There's a Guinness factory in Baltimore, Maryland. The only one stateside. And it produces some of their beer. And I was there. It's like, cool. Check this out. Where the Naval Academy is here in Annapolis, Maryland. We had a nice night out the night before. We were going to go have a couple of casual drinks and just hang out with some friends. And again, this is like my off season. This is February. My agent and I decided that I had enough NFL interest where I wasn't going to go play in the AAF. And I had about 2 or 3 pints. Is that the way I need to say it? I had 2 or 3 pints, and it's good. It was mellow. Everything was really, really nice time. And my phone, I get a text from an old friend from the University of Florida saying, "Are you in shape?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in shape." I should have said, "Yeah, I'm in shape. I got 2 to 3 beers in. I'm primed and ready to go." So I said, "Yes, I'm in shape. Absolutely." What's going on? He's like, "Well, I'm with the Birmingham Iron and we need a tight end. We're down. I want to fly you in for a workout." So 2 days later, they flew me in for a workout. And it was great. I think if you're young-minded, we say young-minded here, if you're immature as a professional athlete, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to bother you about playing in the AAF or the XFL, because it's not as illustrious, right? The hot tubs, if there is one, there's barely, the hot water may not be what it is. I remember the bathrooms in Birmingham, for you to spend some time, for you to go number 2, I'll leave it at that. There was no doors on them, right? So it takes a different minded individual, I think, to really get something out of it in a positive way. I had a great opportunity. We put to play football professionally. We made a lot of money, and they paid for our living. It's fantastic. They paid for half of our transportation. It was a fantastic environment. We got to play on national TV. I got to play with Trent Richardson and great former professional players and players that have gone on to have great professional careers. So I loved it. I loved it. I love the XFL as well. I love the AAF. I enjoyed the journey, the grind. I got to see new cities, new places. And, it was something I'll never forget. But I had a great experience. I met some great coaches, some great people, learned a lot about the game, and learned a lot about myself. I think in those times you're by yourself again, like I am here. We're in a hotel. You're focused on your job, what you have to do, etc. And then there's a time and place to play or travel or whatever that is. But it's nice. I like getting away and getting focused on my job. Certainly had an unbelievable experience in the AAF and the XFL.
And you touched earlier that you finished your college career at Temple, which is a university I know well. I worked in study abroad, so I used to have a lot of students come from Temple to Dublin. But while at Temple, you played under Matt Rhule, and obviously you're coach now again with the Panthers. What is he like as a coach, and has he changed from his time at Temple?
I'll answer your first question. He has changed, yes, but he still sticks true to his core values. He's first a great father and someone that I respect, and he lets us, went into his family in a way and talks about, the grind, the focus it takes to be a good father, a good coach, a good player, a well-rounded person. I think that's the best of Coach Rhule, is he's truly focused on you holistically as a human being. If you're going to just throw the water bottle on the sideline, or you're going to throw the water bottle out in the trash know it sounds like a small thing, but it's a big thing, right? And the little things really matter to Coach Rhule, which I enjoyed. And when I transferred to Temple, I learned a lot. I thought I was tough. I found out I was not. And, I went to a deeper place with the focus and the toughness and the consistency of being a good teammate, which is just doing your job on a consistent basis. So, yeah, Coach Rhule is the elite of the elite. And I really hope to be here for a long time and experience this journey in Carolina, because last year, records, I didn't even know what our record was with season, guys. I didn't even know. I was so focused week to week, moment to moment. That's what Coach Rhule is really about too, is in the moment. But I know there was a lot of close games I should have went the other way. And, with injuries and all these different things, that's just the game. That's how it goes. That's not even an excuse. It's just real life. You never know what your record's going to be, or if we sneak into the playoffs. All I knew was someone told me with 4 games left, we were in the playoff hunt, and then we lost 2 games and we were out of the playoff hunt. So, Coach Rhule is the best of the best. And like I said, I hope I'm here for a long time and enjoying this ride, because it's a special place to be with David Tepper, some of our new front office members, and obviously Coach Rhule.
Well, Colin, I know you're saying about the record, but sometimes you can throw the records out, because if you look at the team's performance, and whilst they might not win the game, it was very evident that the players were playing for Coach Rhule last year, and that's half the battle for a head coach in his first year. And this off season, I know Sam Darnold is the one that kind of takes all the attention, but they've done really well in free agency. The Reddick, the edge rusher from the Cards, has come over. Dan Arnold, the tight end, who was playing in your position, who had a really good year at the Cards last year. Cam Irving, offensive line, very flexible player. They've done good things in the off season to kind of address some positions of need. And obviously then with Teddy Bridgewater moving on, Sam Darnold's come in. Your thoughts for next season? Is there a completely different feel about it at the moment?
It's a great question. It's a new team. I think every year there'll be a new team. Every team I've been on, this is probably one of the first teams I've actually been on long enough where I get to see the next season, which is really cool. And just kind of an honest answer. So yeah, it's a new start. It's a fresh start, right? There was a lot of upset people that how things went last year, right? You're frustrated with your performance individually and the team's performance. Obviously, when you're losing at the rate we were last year, that's not what we want here. That's not the standard in Carolina, and that's not Coach Rhule's standard, like we talked about. So yeah, there's definitely a great feel around, great buzz. Guys are excited to be back in the building. Guys are excited to be back together with the pandemic and things starting to open up here in the States a little bit more. Start to feel a little bit of normal life again, especially in pro sports. Like last year was just unbelievable that we were even working and playing. And what a humbling thing to work through a pandemic and be a part of a team and organization that's all in on our safety during a pandemic, and then allows us to play and make money and be in this business, which is an unbelievable place. So to answer your question, a lot of good buzz. This is our second full day on OTAs. I think we have 9 or 10 of them. So we got a couple weeks left of OTAs and then a vet mini camp, and it'll be good. It's great for the team bonding and morale, because last year in the summer, we're just coming in as a new team, and you got to get your body ready, and then you got to get to know everybody and learn a new playbook. And it was quite the journey last year. I'm excited to have an all season under our belt going into this season.
The show goes out on a Friday, Colin. This Friday it goes out 15 weeks until week 1. So yeah, before you know it, it's going to be week 1. I am going to very selfishly, Colin, I know you're the special guest here, but I have to do this. The week after the Super Bowl, we had a guy on that I think stole our hearts forever, Efe Obada. And I have to say, oh my God, like lads, you'll say his interview with us was, like, as we say over here, unbelievable crack, great fun. I was gutted to see him leaving Carolina. I'm presuming, I think you said to Jeff previously, I mean, obviously a guy that's going to be missed in the locker room.
Yeah, did he get to talk about his story? I know you guys, I'm sure, deep dive into it a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
So first off, regardless of his story and what he's come from, what a great human being. What a great just person, husband, friend. Somebody I just gave big hugs to, someone that really appreciated friendship, being a teammate, taking care of each other. Yeah, they're always hard to replace. They really are, right? And we have a great group of guys on the team. Like I tell a lot of people, I'm constantly defending professional athletes that I've been able to meet over the years. Odell Beckham, I don't know, you name them. You name the big names I've been lucky to play with. They're all great guys. They all want the same thing. They just have a little bit more fandom than the rest of us, a lot more, right? So it's a different way to handle it. They're constantly under the microscope. But a guy like Efe, humble as pie, grateful, respectful. Just, I can't say enough great things about him. I'm sure he stole your guys' hearts because he is the real deal. And I was able to break bread with him a few times, have a few drinks over the holidays and get to know each other outside of the building, and really just get to know what he's about and what he's for, and he'll be missed for sure. But we'll see him towards the end of the season in Buffalo, which I'm excited for. Hopefully I can maybe swap jerseys with him because he's one of my favorite guys I've ever played with.
Well, when you do make it over to this part of the world, Colin, we'll alongside those beers, we'll bring you to Nando's as well, which Efe seems to love. So we'll
What's
make
that
sure.
place? What's that?
It's a chicken place. Efe loves it.
It's all we talked about.
It was great. But we'll bring you to the Guinness factory here, which I could throw a stone at from my window, and we'll go for beers. Now you're a guy who clearly loves stories, and you're very comfortable like telling stories. You have the Not for Long Media podcast, and I suppose I'm interested. Two-part question again. One, who has been your kind of favorite interview thus far, and who would be your dream guest? Because I keep telling the guys that I want us to get Shannon Sharpe on here.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm actually just popped up on my screen here all the episodes I've had, because there's some really good interviews. I've been doing so I'll back it up. You said I'm a storyteller, so of course I'm going to tell a story. I got cut from the New York Giants, as we know. We talked through that, and I wanted to start a media career, and I was between playing in and out of the NFL for my first year. In the first 3 years that I was a professional athlete, like with Temple football, I would call color commentary on the radio for the Temple football games. I traveled with the team. It was the grind. I was doing Philadelphia Eagles pre and post game shows. I was doing a lot of different things. I was just saying yes to every opportunity. And I was training during the week, Monday through Friday, and then I'd work and do radio on the weekend. Not making a dime, but just getting experience and learning, and then doing podcasts and just constantly moving the meter. So when I got cut from the Giants, I was like, wow, the NFL really does stand for not for long. So that's where not for long came from. And that's a great question. I've had some really fun interviews over the years. And really, for those that will go on to give the podcast a follow, I appreciate it. But really, it's just a snapshot of who I am. I like a lot of everything, from fishing to TV shows to travel to having beers to the type of guests we've had on. We've had comics, we've had lead singers of reggae bands, we've had clothing design, the TV show Entourage, the creator of that, Doug Ellen, came on. We have Super Bowl champions, we've had women's basketball Hall of Famers, we've had college basketball All-Americans. We just had the first female sportscaster in Philadelphia history, Leslie Goodell. She's fantastic. We're going to have social media conglomerates come on. So yeah, it's something that it's a great question. Who's my favorite of all time? Well, let me answer the question. Who would I want to have on the most? I would probably say Jason Witten. Jason Witten, I've spent a ton of time watching and trying to be more like on and off the field. He's someone who's I've always looked up to. I think physically I can relate to him the most out of a lot of other tight ends. Some guys are more gifted. Shannon Sharpe can run by everybody. Jason Witten was not the guy to run by everybody, but was just meticulous and did it for so long, and he's a Hall of Famer. And things he's done off the field in his second career, and he's just a great human being and just a true pro's pro. So Jason would be great to come on and tell his stories. That's a great question. There's a lot of really good ones. But my favorite interview of all time, probably the Doug Ellen, creator of Entourage, was a big one for me. I grew up watching Entourage with my college buddies, and again, drinking those beers again and laughing and having a good time. Yeah, definitely some fond memories there. But I've had some good ones. They're all great. They all are different for me. Having like a great friend on, a best friend guy I got to play with was Trey Burton, who threw the Philly special in the Super Bowl. And, to have Trey on, because we go back so long to University of Florida, was special, but really all of it is great. I love it all. It's hard to pick one. It's a great question.
Colin, I suppose between the football and the podcast, it doesn't sound like you have a lot of downtime. And when we do interview players, we tend to talk about the game, their careers. We never really get into the whole what their downtime is like and what they like to do to kind of switch off from football and their career going forward. Like, I know you're a big hockey fan, but what do you like to do generally when you're not thinking about football too much?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm pretty jam-packed full. With this podcast, I've created a business out of it. I got to figure out what a W-9 is, and I got to, we have sponsors, and I have responsibility. It's a business. It is. It's turned into a business. I have four or five employees, counting on me. And just an example, last night we were here, and we shot the beginning part of the podcast, and then just a tidbit, like in the morning, I got in the facility early because I needed to be there, one, and then two, I had an hour before meetings, but I had to build the podcast quickly before I wanted to get to my regiment. So it forced me to get up a little earlier, to be more responsible, have better time management, and then just get the podcast out this morning. But what do I do in my free time? I love to travel. I love to fish. I love to spend time with friends. Where I live is a great place in Cape May, New Jersey, and it's right on the water, and get to do a lot of different things, biking and walking and working out a bunch. It's kind of weird. Like, it's just, I don't even know. It's a great question. Hobby. I think I need to get more, because I can't watch TV shows because I get addicted. I'll be watching it. I'll be justifying staying up till midnight when I should have been in bed 2 hours ago. And I can't play video games because I'll get addicted, and I'll be yelling at some kid across the country who's telling me I suck. So yeah, I'm honestly, I try to work as much as I can, especially right now. Fill my days up as long as possible with work, and then just enjoy it on the weekend and relax with family and friends.
It's funny you say about the amount of time and effort that goes into the podcast. We can certainly vouch for that in terms of the amount of work that we put in to do this show, which is, it's really worthwhile.
Yeah, it is worthwhile, man. It's really cool. You get to meet new people. It's fun work. It really is.
Last one from me, Colin. Now you're being very quiet about this. You're talking about hobbies and stuff. Am I correct in thinking you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan?
Yeah,
So,
the Spurs, baby.
It's been a forgetful season for Spurs. It has, in a sense, but it looks like Harry Kane could be gone. I mean, in a sense, do you think he could maybe walk into that Panthers team or any NFL team? He has tried to be a kicker before, or a punter, so who knows what can happen.
I'm sure he could. So I'll tell a story, and that's the beauty of podcasts. We got plenty of more stories to tell. So I am a Hotspurs fan, and you know what? In the States, it's great because Sunday mornings you wake up and it's on.
Premier League mornings one.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So I started getting into it. I never really was a soccer fan. When I played soccer, I would push people over, and my mom told me she used to hide in the car when I was a kid because parents would be like, "This kid's too old," or I was obviously a little bit bigger, and I was bumping into people, and it just was not good. So my mom would run out, grab me, put me in the car, and she would take off. So I never played, and in the States it's all football, right? I'm the football player. I played ice hockey. I'm a huge Flyers fan. I'm a Carolina Hurricanes fan now, and I love hockey. That's my escape. It really is. I really enjoy watching it and listening to podcasts and etc. All right, so I go to Key West, Florida. My parents have been going for 40 years, and it's a home away from home for me. And that's where I spend some time in the off season, just relaxing and getting away and seeing some old friends and family and having a good time. All right, so the guy I went fishing, I grew up fishing with, Pete, called him Seaweed Pete because he always think we'd have fish on and it would just be seaweed, right? And then we'd have to reel it in. And he's a Tottenham Hotspur man. He's a Spurs man. He's got the whole accent going, right? He's chain smokes cigarettes. Pete listens. I love you, Pete. And drinks Diet Coke. That's all he does. So he's a Hotspur fan. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. My buddy's a Liverpool fan. I started getting Premier League last year, and it was a good year to be a Liverpool fan because obviously they won, and it was fun for me to follow that team. But I just didn't feel right picking them. I didn't want to pick that. It was a cool opportunity for me to pick a team. No one can really judge you. And it's not like here we're oh, where are you from? Oh, you better be an Eagles fan. You're from Philly. No, I'm not an Eagles fan. So I'll make it brief. So then I bumped into a new friend, a bartender in town that we just met. She's a diehard Hotspurs fan. And boom, we go to the Irish pub in Key West. There is one called Shanna Key. And we went in there and watched a Hotspurs game. I'm like, this is great. Okay. And then the next day, I meet a buddy who I've known down there forever. And he walks in with a Tottenham Hotspurs zip up. And he's like, these are 3 days in a row, like literally fishing, meet the bartenders, and see my buddy. And he's like, yeah, I'm a big fan. My niece and nephews got me this jacket. So I'm like, it's done. I'm a Hotspurs fan. So now I'm all in to some extent. I bought a hat, which is not the hat I'm wearing today. I was wearing it Sunday for their last game of the year, last match of the year. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm getting more into it. I know who Harry Kane is. I hope he does not leave. It doesn't sound right. It wouldn't be good. We don't want Chris McCaffrey leaving the Panthers. Yeah, I'm a Tottenham Hotspurs fan, and I'm loving it, man. It's giving me a team to root for. There's a good little Twitter follow and banter with it. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm here to learn more.
Colin, I have to say, we've been very fortunate to talk to a lot of great people, both players, ex-players, media types. This, my favorite, probably because I'm a Broncos fan, we've had Mark Schlereth on the show. You remind me a lot of Stig, just that ability to bring stories in, to weave it all together. I definitely, for viewers, they should check out your podcast because the way in which you tell stories is fantastic. Quick one before we let you go. Who's winning the Stanley Cup this year?
Philadelphia Flyers. No, I'm kidding. They're eliminated. That's a wonderful compliment too, because I'm a big fan of Mark Schlereth, and I've always grew up listening to Mark. I was bummed when he got let go from ESPN. I think he was awesome. And who's winning the Stanley Cup this year?
Is it going to be the Avs?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Has to be the Avs. Sweep.
I don't think it's the Avs. I don't think it's the Avs. Definitely not the Islanders. I don't think they can score enough. I just think it's the Lightning. I'll be honest with you. They have the best goalie in the world.
Another championship for Tampa Bay. Another championship.
Yeah. You know what's funny in Tampa Bay last year? Here's another story, and I feel bad for that city. So, okay, the XFL folded. We had like 25,000 people at a game, which was big. That was huge. You know, for a city in February, there's like 25,000 people at a game. All their spring training, which happens around there, got canceled. XFL canceled. Couldn't go to one hockey game last year. They won the Stanley Cup. That's a great little city. The Bucks won the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay Rays went to the finals, and the men's Elite Eight was supposed to be there for March Madness, and it all got canceled. I know that's a random thought, and I know I'm a weird dude, but that was pretty funny. Like, I was like, not funny, but pretty sad. It's like, wow, if that happened in Philadelphia, like the people would be riding the street. It wouldn't even happen. But Florida, they're like on the beach and like, wait, there's a game going on? Like, what do you mean? So,
Colin, for a second there, I thought Colin was going to ask you, where's Julio Jones getting traded to?
Yeah. Not in my world for sure, but he's a ridiculous player. Pretty funny by Shannon Sharp, your future guest, to call him in the middle of the show.
That was incredible. Like, as a player, Colin, you must have found that like a little bit funny. Like, I was laughing my head off. I thought that was hilarious yesterday.
Yeah, pretty funny. Yeah, Shannon's hysterical. Go ahead.
We were having a conversation yesterday whether it was orchestrated to push the move on.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's interesting, right? Like if Fox has anything to do with it, right? He was on FS1. Maybe he's going to a team that's on the premier market. I have no idea, right? Who knows? But he's unreal. He's unreal. He said he wanted to win, so come to Carolina. Right?
Absolutely, Colin. This has been great. You're definitely now our go-to guy for whenever you score 2 or 3 touchdowns weekly. I am gonna annoy you, but come on the show. No, here, seriously, you're great to check in maybe during the season again, but appreciate your time. Wish you all the very best luck this season as well for you and for the Panthers. Hope you do well and enjoy the rest of OTAs, and then not too long to the season now, man.
Yeah, not too long it is. Thanks, guys, for having me on. I really appreciate it.